raid turned up thousands of stolen iPhones and iPads.
Channel 2 investigative reporter Mark Winnie's in the studio now. Mark, the lead prosecutor here says the crimes in this case affected thousands.
Gwinnett County DA's office prosecutor Han Chung says in this case, thieves stole thousands of electronic devices, often from people's porches after a delivery service dropped them off, and then they were fenced overseas. He says the more than 5,000 thefts tied to this ring disrupted the lives of countless Metro Atlantans.
I think it's important for the community to realize where they're at risk.
A February 2025 Gwinnett police stakeout of a stash house in a stolen electronics investigation yielded video of Kong Zen Ni unloading boxes from his car and heading toward the stash house. A process surveillance video captured him carrying out over and over again for months. And in May of last year, police raided the staked out stash house and found stacks and stacks of stolen iPhones and iPads.
That's wild. Look at all those Apple products. And then, you know, of course, the boxes that he transported everything in. But they said we're saying, you know, he was him and I'm sure some other co-conspirators in this whole thing. They were, you know, stealing packages off people's porches. I'm not sure if they had the intel of what was being delivered, but I mean, they obviously had a way to get a lot of devices, and they said they were fenced overseas, and they more than likely had some type of shop where they were trying to sell these things, or you know, sell it hand to hand on the streets and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure this was a very, very large operation, especially with it being multi-million dollars.
A treasure trove of laptop computers, gaming consoles.
All those Nintendo Switches, PlayStations, you know, they got phones without boxes.
And one evidence photo shows just some of the 600.
And then box full of cash. They let you know they were getting money. You know, everyone involved in this operation. But they made a lot of rookie mistakes with this whole thing. You know, obviously keeping everything in the same areas. It's like made it easy for them to be able to stake them out, learn what they were doing, and finally bust them.
$87,000 in cash police discovered there. And while it's unclear how much, if any, of that was Kong Zen Ni's, police did find well over $100,000 at his house. Part of
now all that money is just going to be in the evidence room somewhere. It's crazy.
1.2 million seized at various locations tied to a theft and fencing ring in which Ni played a major role.
The theft ring would ship out items internationally to places like Dubai as well as Hong Kong.
So, you know, they were stealing the devices here in the United States and shipping them to places like Dubai and Hong Kong, using e-commerce and stuff like that. So they definitely had a little elaborate scheme, or a big elaborate scheme going.
All this says Gwinnett County Complex Crime Unit Managing Assistant District Attorney Han Chung.
Community crimes like this affect everyone.
Kong Zen Ni was the first to go to trial of 10 people charged in a massive Gwinnett County RICO indictment. 8 alleged to be fences, the folks who resold stolen goods across the world, and 2 porch pirates, indicate Prosecutor Chung and Assistant DA Nam Nguyen.
We had over 6 months of surveillance on this case, and we have Gwinnett County police officer who viewed those videos every single day.
Chief Assistant DA John Melvin.
It is hard to build a RICO case, a racketeering case.
It requires an extraordinary amount of effort, but the payoff is so much greater when you're able to take down the entire machine, because you're not addressing just one crime, you're addressing an ongoing, living, breathing machine.
Chung says Friday, February 6th, a jury convicted Kong Zen Ni of RICO and theft by receiving stolen property and acquitted him of a misdemeanor fencing count. And Judge Tawanda Rush Williams sentenced him to 7 years in prison, 3 years probation, and a $100,000 fine.
7 years in prison, 3 years probation. My opinion, got off. And, you know, maybe it was smart to have some type of money, you know, in other places other than the money that they found, the millions that they found. And, but, you know, he got 7 years for this whole thing. And they was trying to build like a, you know, a big RICO. And of course I knew it was definitely more than 3 or 4 people had to be involved in this type of thing. because that's just a lot of groundwork for just one person. But you know, if you move sloppy, man, eventually you're gonna get caught. Even if you moving, with, very, very, stealthy. I mean, it's still a possibility of you getting caught, because they sat and they built this case for a while. They were put on to them pretty, early, and then they allowed them to continue to do it for months. And as they were saying, they have over 6 months of surveillance on this whole thing. So they were just allowing them to get away with it, and just to build their case and make their case stronger. So
Mr. Nee claimed that he was just working at a cell phone business selling cell phones, claimed that he did not know that was stolen.
Prosecutor Hahn says other photos used in Nee's trial depict the Fulton County home of an alleged co-conspirator who has yet to go to trial, a home where more stolen iPhones and iPads were found, along with a Maserati and a diamond Rolex watch.
that's it, man. That's what they want. They want the Mozzie. They want the Rolex. They want the material stuff. That's what this whole thing is about. They was willing to put that risk out to get those devices, because they had to take the devices, so like they was saying, Porch powers, they had to go, get the devices. Sometimes they may hit, sometimes they may come up short, but yeah.
Just some of the examples of the luxury lifestyle some of Nee's Confederates financed with misgotten gain, though Nee himself kept a lower profile, but not low enough to avoid justice. Gwinnett DA Patsy Austin Gatson.
We're going to prosecute these cases to the fullest extent of the law.
And there you have it. So, just bringing to light, this type of thing. You never know what's going on out here, and it's just a little bit of everything, honestly. But yeah, they brought down this ring, and I'm sure someone that's gonna be, looking at this story, and they're gonna say, "Man, I'm doing the same thing, but I'm gonna just keep doing it just a little bit longer because, they're not on to me." You never know, you know, especially when you're shipping stuff out overseas, and you know, all those things have ways of tracking, devices and stuff like that. So, like tracking numbers and everything like that's gonna be on record at the shipping places that you use. Um, people do a lot of crazy stuff for that money. I'm going to close this one out. If you like my content, make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. This is Justin Paul. Peace.